So today we finally get to showcase a build that a lot of you guys asked me about. It was kind of funny because I didn't even plan on releasing this build, but I had a lot of comments in one of my last videos when I was really just talking about the summit and the updates that were coming to 11.1. But people were asking about the build. They said, no kidding, what was the build? And there was comments on comments, and I felt like, you know what, let me release this build for you guys. But before we get into the breakdown, I do want to say thank you to our sponsor of this video, Advanced GG, one of my partners who I've been partnering with for a few months now. Now, they provide some of the best focus and energy products out there, and what I love about them is everything that's in their product is on the back of the label. There's no blends, nothing you have to worry about. You can look up the ingredients and exactly know what you're taking. Now, before you check out, make sure you use skills at the checkout for 10% off. But let's get into the build, guys, because that's what you guys came here for. So this build, like I said, I like to call it the True Guard, and there's a lot of reasons why I call it that. So if you take the hint out of my other builds, half my name of the weapon, half the name of the set I'm wearing. But yeah, we'll get into the full breakdown, but I did want to show you some gameplay of this beast and why I like it so much. I feel that once I get the full stack from the backpack, that's where this build actually shines. Now what you're gonna notice is that it has a lot of DPS for having so much armor, and it has just enough, well, I like to say just enough DPS. I wouldn't say it's like a straight DPS machine. No, there are some other builds that can have way more DPS, but this build right here has a lot of survivability. And you guys are gonna see when I break it down, oh, that's why he has those high armor stacks, and that's why he's so tanky and he's able to tank these enemies and still put out enough damage to drop elite and named enemies. And one thing you might have noticed while you've watched this gameplay, hopefully you guys noticed, that they tend to have a flag over them. And if you guys have been playing the division for a little bit and you guys know your gear sets, there's only one gear set that does that, and it's the True Patriot set. So yes, we are rocking the True Patriot set. And this build has to be one of my favorite builds to run. I have a lot of builds in Title Update 11.1. A lot had to do with what I like to call the Ninja Bike Backpack, putting it all together, allowing you to play with so many builds. But yeah, we're gonna dive into this. We have 1.5 million armor, 318,000 health. We are running a 4-piece True Patriot, and then we'll break it down. But it all starts with the Gunner class. That's gonna give us that 10% armor on kill, and I feel like it's really good with this build. Now, the main reason why this build works really good together is because it has Emily's Guard, which is that named P90. This has SMG damage, crit chance, 10% damage to targets out of cover, and then it has perfect preservation. Now, what that does is killing an enemy repairs 12% of your armor over 5 seconds. Now, if you get a headshot kill, it actually gives you an additional 12%, so a total of 24% repair armor, and that's amazing. And the P90 actually hits pretty hard. It sits at about 101,000. It has that 900 RPM, and then with this build, it has a 65 round mag. Definitely one of my favorite SMGs to run when I'm running a build like this. Now for the secondary, I just run the Sweet Dreams, and this is for those purple and non-elite enemies. This cooldown on this is 15 seconds. I can melee them, and as long as it's not an elite, it's a one shot every time. Now for the pistol, I am running the Gunner class pistol, and that also has perfect preservation. I hardly ever pull it out. But let's get into the build, right? So what makes this build? So we are running the True Patriot 4-piece. Now the True Patriot 4-piece is gonna give us a 2-piece. It's gonna give us that 30% ammo capacity, 3-piece, 30% magazine size. That's why you saw that big magazine size on that SMG. And then the 4-piece, red, white, and blue. Every 2 seconds, enemies you shoot receive a stacking debuff of red, white, or blue. Now, the red one's going to amplify enemies' damage taken by 8%. The white one shooting at enemy repairs the attacking agent's armor by 2%. And then blue is going to decrease the enemy's damage dealt by 6%. Now, the full flag, enemies that die while under the effect of all 3 debuffs create a 5mm explosion. And that's what you probably saw what looked like fireworks going off. But this set right here is definitely my go-to set. I used to run this set a lot, but it's definitely a really fun set to use when you want to stack a lot of armor. Now, I do have armor rolls on here for the core attribute, and then I rolled critical hit damage, and then I have a critical hit chance mod on here. So I'm going to be stacking a lot of crit chance, crit damage, plus those armor rolls, because that's where we're getting most of our damage, right? For the chest, we're running a Sokolov chest. Now I definitely can get a better one. This one gives me that 10% SMG damage. Now I have 13% weapon damage, 10% critical hit damage. I wish I could get a critical hit chance roll right here, and then I could put a critical hit damage mod. Now it does have one of my favorite talents to run when I do run a build that gives me bonus armor. Intimidate, because remember, we're going to get amplified total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. And when we use the SMG, we're always most likely within that 10-meter range. So that's a lot of amplified damage that you're getting for just running the Sokolov chest with the Intimidate talent. And remember, it's not a perfectly rolled one, so I can still work on it. Now we're running our second piece on the holster for True Patriot. We have armor and armor regen. If I could get one that didn't have the armor regen there, I'd probably put critical hit damage and then have armor. For the knee pads, same thing. We're going to be going with armor and critical hit damage. So that's usually what you're going to want to go with the True Patriot. Go for that armor and critical hit damage on the ones you can only run one attribute. Same thing for the gloves, armor, critical hit damage. Now we do have this all paired up with the Memento backpack, and that's how we're able to get Intimidate. And what's crazy about it is we are running an attribute, so we are running a mod for critical hit chance. But remember, every time we get bonus armor, 10% bonus armor of 1.5 million is a huge chunk, and that's going to last 10 seconds. So that's what's really good about this. Plus, we're running 2 reds, so we're going to get additional 10% weapon damage. And while we have a full stack, we have 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor regen. So that's why this build really works hand in hand. I just run the Reviver Hive because I am running solo with this build. And then with the shield, we are running the Crusader Shield. And look at the Crusader Shield. It actually has a tier 6 because we're running 5 reds and 1 yellow. So for the tier 6 shield, we're getting 6 million health with a 14-second cooldown. That's amazing, right? That is amazing for a Crusader Shield, and that's why it actually works really good with this build, and it will keep you up. So that's why I do run it. It's my backup plan when I don't want to try to face tank with my build. I am tanky with this build, but the shield just makes it that much more tanky. And those two skills, hand in hand, the Reviver Hive with this shield, with that amount of tankiness, is definitely going to keep you up. Now, we are running 52% crit chance, 83% crit damage, 62% headshot damage, and you're seeing we're still putting out enough damage. Our armor regen at full stack is going to be 50,000 armor regen with 153% armor on kill. So that, with the 1.5 million armor, is just an amazing way to stay up. And remember, we also get 24% of our armor back every time we get a headshot kill with the Emily's Guard. But this is the build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys try it out, have fun with it. Let me know how you guys like the build. Remember, I have a lot of builds in the Division 2 build playlist, and that is a great way to check out all the builds I am using in Title Update 11.1. So I will see you guys in the next Division 2 video, but until then, Nothing But Skills is out.